Imagine you're training a language model, and every training example has to fit into a fixed slot, say 4,000 tokens. The problem is real text does not come in one neat size. Some of your examples are a single tweet, some are a paragraph, and some are a full document that overflows the slot. So what happens to all that empty space in short ones? For a long time, the honest answer was that we just wasted it, and on a big training run, that waste adds up to a serious pile of money. Today, we're looking at sequence packing, a simple but genuinely important trick that stops a run from burning expensive compute on nothing at all. Now, to feel why this matters, let us put the naive approach right next to the packed one. Here is the default way, the naive way. You take a short example and you pad it out with meaningless filler tokens until it reaches the full sequence length. Every one of those padding positions still gets pushed through the model, and all of that compute is simply thrown away. When your examples are short, most of the batch can end up being padding, which means you're literally paying your accelerators to process empty space that teaches the model nothing. Packing flips that completely. Instead of padding, you fill the sequence with real data, stitching several short examples together so that almost every token position holds something the model can actually learn from. Nothing is thrown away on filler. The same hardware, the same run, the same wall clock time suddenly does far more real learning per step, just because you stopped feeding it emptiness. So how does packing actually work in practice? Follow it as 4 simple moves. First, you gather many short training examples. On their own, each one would leave a lot of the sequence empty, so individually they are wasteful to train on. Then you concatenate them end to end into one full-length sequence. A tweet, a paragraph, a snippet of code, all packed back to back until the slot is basically full of real tokens. Here is the catch and the clever bit. You do not want one example to peek at its neighbor, so you apply a boundary mask, sometimes called a block diagonal attention mask, and reset the position counters at each document edge. Every packed example is processed as if it were alone, and then you train as normal. Because there's almost no padding left, throughput jumps, often by 2 to 3 times, and your expensive accelerators finally spend their cycles on real data instead of filler. Let us pull out the 3 ideas that make sequence packing worth knowing. Concatenation is the whole trick. Rather than padding short examples up to length, you glue several of them together so the sequence is full of real tokens instead of dead space. A boundary mask keeps them honest. Because those examples share one sequence, a block diagonal mask stops attention from crossing between them. So each packed example still behaves as an independent training example. And the payoff is throughput. Getting rid of wasted padding can lift utilization dramatically. Sometimes 2 to 3 times more work out of the very same hardware, which is exactly why sequence packing is now baked into pretty much every modern language model training framework by default. All right, let's lock in what sequence packing really is. Sequence packing concatenates many short training examples into one full-length sequence, so you stop wasting compute on padding tokens. The trick that keeps it correct is a block diagonal attention mask, plus reset position IDs, so each packed example stays independent even though they share the same slot. The result is a big lift in throughput and hardware utilization, sometimes 2 to 3 times, which is why it is built into modern training frameworks. Little efficiency tricks like this are where a lot of real training speed hides. And if you enjoy having them explained without the jargon, Standarity.com has a whole shelf of these AI explainers waiting for you.